picture. So here we go. Ready?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Hey folks, it's Kimberly Hobscheid with Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I'm here today with amazing Marie Mack. She has been supporting and encouraging and guiding entrepreneurs for years. She actually has a background in the military, which helps her stay focused and have a dedicated work ethic and a lot of really cool organizational skills. She built First Cup to Close, which I'm going to have her share the story of what the story behind the name on that is, because I love it. But her background is she enjoys hiking and grilling with her family and laying in a hammock to take time off after she's gotten all of these things done. A lot of people have asked about productivity, and during our web summit, Marie's was one of the most well attended of all of our seminars. During the seminar, she actually mentioned that she does a training on Trello, and people went wild, and they're like, we need that training. We have to have that training. So this is specifically for our Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel community to give you guys training on Trello. At the end of this training, you are going to have a Trello board up and working that's built from a template that Marie is going to give to you. So it's highly worth your time to hang in there until the end. And it's actually not really a really long session. She's going to give you a lot of content right up front. You're going to be able to understand how Trello boards work, why you need to use Trello boards, and then she's going to give you a template that you can actually use in your life right now, starting today. And then at the end, we're going to, if you want to know more about Trello and more about First Cup to Close and more about Marie, we will give you an invitation to take this further if you want to. But it's not necessary. When you finish this webinar, you're already going to have a ton of stuff and value to take this forward to the next level. Is that good coverage and good intro?
Yeah, that was fantastic. You hit all the points. Good.
All right, awesome. Okay, Marie, this is going to be a little bit more casual. I know that you have some slides, but really it's just a conversation. What we really want is engagement from the audience. As those of you who know, I did the Web Summit. I'm really about facilitation and audience engagement. I could record videos all day long, but if I don't have human beings in there interacting with me, it's a lot less fun. So I encourage you guys to jump in and participate. So number one, find the chat box and tell us who you are and where you're from so that we know that you're here and we know who's going to be interacting with us and playing along with us. And then as we go through, we'll ask you some questions and have you put some stuff in the chat. Sound good?
Does to me. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'll answer you.
Very, very cool. All right. So Marie, let's get started. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know that you were in the military, you're organized from that, and then you started First Cup to Close. So share a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went into the military as a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, most people are like, no, not you.
But she looks so nice, doesn't she? She looks like she could take people down.
Yeah, it's the other side. You don't see behind the camera, right? Everybody's behind the camera is a little different. Anyway, so I was a second Black Hawk pilot in the state of North Carolina, and female Black pilot. And through all the training, the biggest thing was to stay on task and to stay on time. And so I used that when I created First Cup to Close. So Kimberly, you asked about the background of my name. This was a lot of people rebrand over the years, but this has just resonated with me for the life of my business. And the big thing is I always thought, okay, as entrepreneurs, what do? We sit down and we grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. So I have my tea here. I love it. And they sit down and they get to work. And then at the end of the day, they close down. So as an assistant to those people, I'm an online business manager by trade, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come alongside everybody that is sitting down and working so hard, but I also wanted it to be a comfortable place. So when you go to my website, you'll see that I have this pretty little coffee cup, and I wanted it to be more like a coffee feel. So just two people sitting down, making amazing things happen. And that's where First Cup to Close came from. So a fun little name for sure. And anyway, so I think that answers all the questions. Is that right?
Yeah, Definitely. Just a little background on who you are and what you do. And I put your website in the chat.
I want to be sure. Go ahead.
I just put your website in the chat box so people can check it out with the coffee cup. But we have yeah. So don't engage there because we actually have a really good offer for you guys.
Yeah, just hold on that one. Anyway, so when I was talking to Kimberly about putting together this training, I really wanted to be sure that I talked directly to the audience and that I answered your questions. The goal of this is that you do ask questions. I know a lot of times when I go through an entire training and I have to go back to answer a question in a certain piece, it kind of gets me thrown off, and I don't feel like people ask questions as they go. So ask questions. I will answer them. Kimberly's going to help me with the chat, definitely. And I want to be sure that the goal is for you to come away with enough knowledge for you to take this template that I'm going to give you and run with it. I don't want to leave any questions unanswered. So Kimberly, are we ready to get going?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's keep on. Yeah. Okay. I know we don't have that much time. I feel like every time I get on here, I start talking really fast. So everybody.
It's me. It's actually me. I'm creating that for you.
I swear, Kimberly, we're just connected on another level. Anyway, I have some slides that I want to show. I'm going to share my screen here. So if anybody can't see something, please, please, please let me know. And let's just get us moved over here. Awesome. So you should be able to see these slides. You know, I want to say that I'm really awesome. I can do all this stuff, but I'm just going to leave this in PowerPoint for right now, because the exit in the intro and trying to manage Zoom and going all these different places, it just gets me crazy. So please, please ask any questions in the chat box again, but I'm going to roll through some different statistics that I thought were super interesting when I created this for this training. So we're talking about productivity in entrepreneurship. Definitely have that shiny object syndrome. You have that squirrel over here, all these different things that are vying for your attention. And these were some of the statistics that I thought were pretty interesting. So wasting 6.8 hours per week on low business activities. And that means thinking about finding your team that could take on some of those little things that you might not need to be doing as your owner. These are things like, think about scheduling posts on Facebook maybe, or some of your other social media things that could be scheduled out. Think about all those little things that are happening. Those are eating away some of your productivity time. Yeah. Another statistic I thought was interesting is this 3.9 hours each week indulging in mental health breaks. So that's when you get on YouTube or you're on your Facebook and you start watching those cat videos. I know people are out there doing it. So those are your mental health breaks, that the productivity in your business is just being sucked away by that thought that you have to stop for a little bit and do this. We're going to create some things today, and I'm going to show you how I manage creating a system in which you stay productive, even though you feel like, I don't know, maybe I need a cat video right now. So mental health breaks, taking up a whole bunch of time, 3.4 hours a week handling low value emails. Maybe that's somebody that you can pass off. A lot of my clients ask me to help them with customer service videos. One of my great things that I talked with Kimberly about during the web summit was renewals and really supporting those clients that are already in your system, already paying you money. They already love you. Make them your best friends. But those low value emails that are coming in might be able to have a team member look at those, as opposed to your productivity, your high I brain out there doing the best that you can do in your business. And then this 1 hour a week of just sitting in a non-productive or wasteful meetings. So some people, I definitely for corporate people are out that are transitioning into this. If you don't have a focus for your meeting, it's time to lay some groundwork on your intentions when you go in there and just take away all of these unproductive times in your business. So we're looking at almost a whole day of hours each week that people don't have a plan, they don't have a system, they don't have something set up, and they're wasting a whole lot of time. So I'm not sure if in the chat you can say, what would you do if you had a whole extra day? I'll stick this down here.
Oh, yeah.
What if you had a whole extra day to do work? What would you do?
That's a good point. Okay, so what if you could get 21.8 hours back in your week? That means you now have a whole extra day, as Marie was saying. Like, what would you do with an extra day every week? Man, I like your idea of laying in a hammock. I would definitely, I'd get a massage. Yeah. I would spend a day like just getting a massage and laying in the hammock. That would be great. That'd be perfect.
And that's intentional. Like that's an intentionally creating your self-care. I'm just going to go on a little mini soapbox for like 30 seconds.
Perfect.
Your self-care is what's going to create your business to move forward in a massive way. So don't take for granted the fact that you should do your workouts, you should drink your water, you should look at your protein. I mean, all of the things I have herbal tea and I have a thing of water. And after my workout this morning, I'm just saying, take care of yourself for sure. And I would totally take a whole day. I would take Fridays off and just go to the spa if I could. That's what I would do. But I can't. Anyway, if anybody else has anything else they might want to do with a whole extra day, if you could find a whole extra day, put that in the chat. We'd love to hear about it.
Awesome. Okay, I got a couple. This one says hammock sounds good. This one says you guys are funny and awesome. I love it. So thanks for being here. Thanks for interacting. I'm telling you right now, it's a lot more fun if you guys play along. So shoot notes in the chat box. If you can't find the chat box, I just scan your mouse down to the bottom of the Zoom, and you'll be able to click on a little button that looks like a bubble with 3 dots in it, and it says chat. So if you're having trouble finding that, we would love to have you do that. But I'm sorry, Marie, go ahead. That was
no, you're fine. You're fine. One thing I wanted to say too was that I think with the chats on the webinars, you might have to change it from all panelists or to attendees. I think that there might be I don't know if that's everybody.
It comes to us. No, it just comes to us. So not everybody can see all the different things in the chat, but I can see them if you can see them. So we're good.
Great. I can see it all. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to move on. Anyway, crazy stats. Every time I thought about productivity, I was like, holy moly, this is insane. Anyway, I didn't do this study, just a disclaimer. Somebody else really smart did it, but I love to use the information.
Perfect.
So systems is definitely my thing. Like Kimberly said earlier, I am a high S, like naturally a high S. I like the systems. I like to say, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? What am I doing next? And by creating systems in your business, this is talking about your brain power. I mean, every time you have to stop and think about what you need to do next, you're using extra brain power that you want to keep for your creative side. A whole lot less stress if you already have something built in your business, which is going to help you move through your days, move through your work weeks, and a whole lot less stress on, okay, great, what am I supposed to do now? Anybody else? Just me? Okay, so I am so crazy
Dottie
about
says,
that.
adore systems.
Yay, thank you. Me too, Dottie. So other things, more consistency in your business. This is talking about branding. This is talking about how your people are finding you. The consistency is what's going to come from your systems that you're creating, saving you money. I mean, think about it. If you had a person who was wasting 21 hours a week on all those little things we just talked about, how much money are you spending on that team member where it could be into productive time? Just saying. We already said branding. That's one of my big things that I am looking at it in myself, in my business. So I like to push it out there. We were just talking about that, pushing it out there into the universe and making it better for everybody. And then this is a little soapbox thing too, but I'm not a doomsday person, but if something were to happen to you, say you fell down the stairs or you slipped on some ice out there and you broke your hand. I'm right-handed. So if I do something with my right hand, I cannot type on my computer and my business is at a halt. So if something were to happen to you, do you have a system in place in which people can come in and help you if you need to, even if for a short term? They can't help you if you don't have something in place. You're not going to be able to give them all the details in one verbal without you typing. So I'm just saying, if something were to happen to you, can somebody jump in and help a little bit along the way? Okay. So any questions about why we create systems? I hope that everybody kind of gets that, because it's definitely a near and dear to my heart for sure.
No, I totally agree with that. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they are the coach, they are the business, they don't have a staff, and they don't have any way to pass anything off. And we had Laura Posey actually on our web summit, and she was chatting about how, her business was going along, everything was great. And then her partner was diagnosed with cancer, right? And so she like was devastated by that. And they were, and she wanted to spend all of her time spending time. And it was like stage 4. It was really serious, right? So she's like, I don't want to spend time on my business right now. I want to move on. I want to like just focus on this, not move on, but I want my business to keep growing, but I need to focus my life, my attention on this right now, because this is where, emotionally, I want to spend my time. Because she had systems in place, it was perfectly aligned for her to be able to pass that stuff over to somebody else so they could manage the business and it didn't fall apart and die without her, while she could focus on the thing that was most important in her life. So even if you think, I'm healthy, everything's fine, I'm going to keep doing this until I'm 70 or 80 or 90 or 100, that's fine. But you never know when something's going to just slap you upside the head that you weren't expecting, and you're not able to perform in your business. Just like you said, you broke a hand, or you did, something happens and you're not able to do it. So this, having systems in place, important.
Yeah, absolutely. All the things. So just think about it. This is the one reason that I come out here and I try to find people that I can share this passion with, because systems are so important on multiple levels, your whole life. Okay, we're going to move on. We have some really exciting talking points today. I want to share with you 5 musts of systemizing your business. So again, if you have questions, add them into the chat box. I'll be glad to go along and answer everything as we go. But I just want to give you some really good tangible things that you can take away. Okay.
Perfect.
So the first thing is write it down. Seems really smart, right? People don't do it. They just don't. So if you think that you're going to remember how to do something from day to day to day to day, this is something I'm going to encourage you to just write it down. Not only can you then pass it off to somebody, but in addition, if you feel like you're going to do a task more than once in your business and you write it down, you don't have to go back and remember again later how to do that task. An example, I use Infusionsoft for one of my clients. And I have to go in and link up the emails that we got from a giveaway into the emails that are already on the system. And I only do it once a month. The task is really tedious, and I have to get spreadsheets, and there's like all these things going on. I forget every single month how to do it. So second time I did it, I was like, okay. And I just wrote down step, 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 step. And that way I don't have to waste time trying to remember what did I do last time.
Sure.
I can jump straight to it. So my encouragement to you in your systems is, first of all, just write it down. You don't know when you're going to be able to pass it off. And please don't assume that you might remember from time to time to time. Okay. The next thing I want to say is create trainings with a team in mind. We've kind of already hit on this a couple times, but if you're creating trainings for somebody else, you're probably going to be a little bit more descriptive about how you do it. Kimberly and I were talking earlier today about learning models and how people see things. I have an education background as well. So my thing with learning models, some people are kinesthetic, some people are verbal, some people need to read things, whatever it might be. Create your trainings in which you think that you can pass them off to somebody else and they're going to get that. I'm going to show you in a little bit how I put my trainings together on my Trello board, and I'll give you a really great example of how to do that. But I just want to say that when you're creating your trainings, think about somebody else having to come in from outside your business, and they might not know all the details that you do. So be descriptive and maybe do video, write it down, all the things. This is a little thing, I just thought about this, but if you're creating a video, you can always send it to someplace like rev.com and have it transcribed, so that if somebody needs to read it, they can do that as well. And so that's a lot easier for you to kind of multitask how you're giving information out.
Yep, otter.ai is the same,
Yes.
is also a really good one. So I'm going to put that, and what's Rev?
Rev.com, I just upload the videos.
Is it rev.com, C-O-M?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'll put both of those in there.
Yep.
Otter.ai is another good one. I use that when it's like free.
Oh, awesome.
Free, but it's free for a period of time, and then it charges you. But try it out, because I didn't pay any money to start with Otter.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm obsessed with it, because I feel like, especially when you're creating, this is kind of going, we're in the same realm, but when you're creating these trainings or you're creating content and you need another mode to be able to give it to people,
Sure.
use the tools that you have out there. Don't recreate the wheel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will, if you're not recreating every time, you're actually going to spend less time and you'll get some of that hammock time back.
Yes. I like that. We're going to call it hammock time now. Yeah. Okay. Our hammock time.
No, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
We're cutting that from the video.
Okay. Moving on. Documentation is key. This comes a lot with the writing down, but I'm also thinking about checklists. Are people doing the work? How do you know if somebody's doing the work that you're passing off? How do you know if a task has been done? I mean, week to week, it seems like there's so many things coming down in your email, on your Facebook, whatever you're doing in your business. You're usually working in the day and or in the week that you're in. So how do you remember if you did something 2 weeks ago or last month, or when's the last time that you pitched this course? Whatever it might be, create a system in which you document how you're talking to people.
Great
or when you're doing that. Yeah.
Yep.
In the web summit that we had, we talked about documenting when you were talking to your clients consistently.
Yep.
So I talked about Trello. I go in and I created an entire training on how I document how I'm doing customer service with people. And it's detailed for a reason. First of all, I can bring up one card and it'll show me all the details of my conversation. So if I'm trying to interact with somebody, then I can say, hi, Kimberly, it's great to see you. I know that your dog was sick last week. How is he doing this time? And now I've created a personal feel to our conversation, and it took me about half a second to see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, documentation is key for your tasks and your systems, because you want to be sure, especially if you have a team or you're yourself, that you're not forgetting to do tasks along the way. So
good.
I'll show you again in our Trello board how I manage my team and how I see what they're doing and making sure everything's done, because that's my name attached to them. So we'll see an example of that in just a little bit.
Okay.
One more thing, but use what you have created. So a lot of my high I and wonderful, beautiful minded people will create this awesome and amazing system, but they've done it for years this other way. So it's okay. They'll just keep going. They'll just keep going on the old way. They'll never use the new system that they had. So the problem with that is that when you create a system, sometimes you have to tweak it. You don't know if you have to tweak it until you use it. So my must for you is, when you create a system or you create anything that you're going to pass off to somebody else, or you're creating these, if I say SOPs, does that make sense to people?
Yes. Standard operating procedures, SOPs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. So when you're creating your SOPs, you want to be sure that for the life of your business, that they are still staying standard. That's part of your branding. That's part of your scaling. All of this comes into play later on in your big pictures. Okay. So use what you've created and make it something a little bit better. The last thing I want to say with the 5 musts of systemizing is change what's not working. You're not stuck to a system forever. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, as soon as you start working in something and you say, it's just not happening for me. As an example, I have one of my most amazing clients, of course. He and I created this really great system for his affiliates and how we were going to manage those people and how we were going to network with them. We had it over in one program. He was working in another program. And he found that it was hard for him to move programs. It wasn't something that he was doing consistently. So we moved from, and I'll say some programs, and if this resonates with anybody, that's fine, but he was working in Evernote, and we were moving things to Asana, which is another program similar to Trello. And he found that he just wasn't doing it because it was hard. And I was like, why don't we just move to what makes sense to you?
Yep.
So I'm giving you the grace. I'm giving you the go ahead. Change it if it's not working. That's okay. But you don't know if it's not going to work unless you use your systems. So
great advice.
Throwing that out there. Okay. Are there any questions as we're going along?
No, but definitely if you have questions in the, throw them in the chat box, and we'll go through them as we see them come up. So, all right.
Awesome. All right. So that's our big picture. Now I'm going to move into some nitty gritty. I know Kimberly loves this part. So I'm going to switch over here to my Trello board. So if nobody's seen Trello before, this is it. I love this platform so much. The biggest thing is that a lot of people, when they're thinking about things, they think, have you ever made a plan and it's all sticky notes? Like I have sticky notes everywhere on my desk. Well, I follow the same kind of sticky note thing. The things will move as needed from place to place to place. So this is I love this so much. So I want to be sure to give you all the tools that you need to be able to use this efficiently. So I'm going to go through real quick, just some terminology so I don't lose anybody. The first thing that we see on this thing is a board. So this whole thing, Systemized with Trello, is a board all the way across.
Okay.
Then within our board, we have different lists, which are these guys right here. And then on our different lists, we have cards. I don't know why this keeps coming up. There we go. We have different cards. So each of the cards.
So the entire thing is a board. Then the individual columns is a list. And then the individual things on the columns, those are cards.
Cards, yes.
Also known as sticky notes. Got it. Okay.
Yes, these are sticky notes. I'm going to call them cards because I don't want to get messed up in my own mind. So on your cards, you have a lot of different details. I'll open up a couple and I'll go through as we're talking, but I just want you to know some of the terminology as I'm using it because it kind of just flows and I don't want anybody to be left behind, okay? So this here is an example of how I manage my business. I'm an online business manager, and I have several different contractors which work for me. In addition to that, I also have systems in which I have a weekly to-do. And then I also have on this list down here, I have some assets. So this is how I've created this board. Again, Kimberly already mentioned this, but I'm going to give you a template of this so that you can build this out on your own business if you want to. But I also want to give you some details about how I use this and how I stay productive and make sure that my systems are set up, our SOPs are set up in a consistent way. So
I'm gonna pause there because what you just said is fantastic. So at the end of this webinar, for the people who hang on, you're actually gonna give us a link where we can download a template of this so that we can just we don't have to start from scratch. You can start from scratch if you want, but this is an opportunity to get one that's already built and then customize it for yourself.
Absolutely.
That's phenomenal. That'd be like, getting, an Apple Mac from, Steve Jobs. Fantastic. Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. It's already going to be set up because my biggest thing is I don't want the, oh my gosh, what ifs, I don't know how the tech part, we're just going to take that out. I'm going to give you the template that I'm using to create all of this right here. Yeah. And then you can move forward with it and systemize your business. Okay.
That's phenomenal. Okay. So can we get in the chat box, just say, hell yeah, or I'm excited, or give it to me because I need this really badly. Yes. Just shoot a note in the chat box and let us know you're with us and you're still enjoying the presentation because this stuff, it's really exciting. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I've done is I've broken up my business into several different sections within one Trello board. So my first section is I have these 3 cards here. Sometimes you'll have requests either by clients, by customers that are one time. So if something comes in, I have a space where I can write that down. Maybe one of my clients wants me to update a funnel for them. I can write that card down. When I have more details, I put it in there. And then when it's actually on the calendar, I can move it from there to our open tasks. Okay. So this way, I know where things are in the process. Sometimes I'll get a task in, but I might go ahead and I'll assign it to one of my other contractors. So I can see pretty easily who's been assigned to which task and when the due date is by creating new cards and moving them along. For us, when the project is all done, we move it over to review for the client, and then we ask them for payment. So I can watch tasks move along without having to go into the deeper sections. Maybe this one's in email, maybe that one's over there on Facebook, maybe something else is happening on another Trello board. Whatever it is, I have the big picture as a business owner to see.
I like that.
Yes.
I like it. That's
Yes.
very high D, very high I. I like it.
Yes. So I'm trying to move to my high I's. I work really hard in it. So that's how I use this section. These three lists I use to watch open small tasks move along and all the productivity that happens there. Okay. So the next thing I have are my weekly to-dos. I moved this list in here this morning. I hesitated on putting this in here, but I think it's really important for people that are business owners to understand what are their tasks to do and to have their own checklists. So this is my task. I'll just show you it again. So when you click on each of the cards, they pop up into a bigger window.
Okay. So it's a little hard to see, but if you guys scan into it, it's you can see it. But okay, so here's your perfect.
So anyway, this is what I use every day. A lot of my clients pay me because I am pretty good at what I do, and they want to be sure that I'm in my business as well. So these are the tasks that I go through every single morning. I've assigned, because this is my S, right? I assign a time in which I do it, and I assign an amount of minutes. So I'll say I'm going to do this for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and on through. You can create this. I know. It
That's pretty sweet. So like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it for 10 minutes exactly. Whew.
Well,
that's discipline. That's your military background coming in. That's awesome.
Right. That's right. My biggest thing is that I don't want to, now here, a lot of times for me anyway, I create packages, right? I'm going to estimate how much time I should spend on this particular task with a client, and they pay me to do that. If I keep running over all the time, what is that doing to my business? Nothing good. So I need to make sure that I'm staying on task. But my big thing for doing this is, what if I'm sick? What if I'm in the hospital? Something happened. I can't do it. I can pass this particular card off, or I can text my project manager and say, hey, I'm sick. Like, I can't do this. This needs to happen. In order for our business to continue running, all I have to do is please go into the Marie's Daily Rounds card and work from top to bottom.
Got it. That's pretty sweet.
So I always have this system in which, yes, most of my contractors don't even know I do most of this stuff, but it's important for me to have this listed. Plus it's important for me, especially this morning, I was distracted with, we were going to get on and we were going to talk, and I was thinking about things. And then I looked and I was like, wait, what's next? I'm supposed to be doing something. What am I supposed to be doing? All I had to do was look at my card and say, okay, next is this. Then I have this really weird thing with check boxes and checklists. If anybody else is a checklist person, please put a hell yes in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Put I'm a checklist person in the chat if you're a checklist person. Me, yes. I'm more of a calendar person. Like, I'll put stuff in my calendar, and so it's blocked out, like when I'm going to do stuff all day long, and then move it forward. But that's sort of like the same thing. I am a checklist person. We've got several people.
Yay. Awesome. Love it. So when I do these checklists on Trello, what I love is that as I mark things off, I get this really cool bar. Does anybody else find that's really exciting? So as I work through in my morning, I can see how much productivity I've had, and I just keep going. And then at the end, it turns green and it says I've done everything. I don't know why that's so exciting, but I absolutely love it. Anyway, each day I get this little, yay, I did it. Excitement from Trello, it feeds back. So I'm a little geeky about stuff like this, but I think it's absolutely awesome. So I'm going to uncheck this because that will really get me on a different realm tomorrow.
Perfect.
So that is one example. The other thing that I like to use, I've taken out my personal things that I'm doing, but I wanted to be sure to give you a template about each week of the month. So typically we have 4 weeks, but sometimes we have a 5, so we have it there. But what I want to say is create a system in which you have the specific things that need to happen in your business. So on Monday, I've created different checklists. Checklists are really super easy to create. I'm going to go through a quick little tutorial because I don't want anybody to be lost when you jump into this. But if you click the little checklist box here, you can create a new checklist onto your Trello board as needed. So maybe we're going to call this Wednesday.
Okay.
And then what I've done is usually I'll have each week. So on the first week, you might have something a little bit different, as in maybe you invoice the first week of the month. Maybe you check in on your stats from October because it's November now. Maybe you do something different on the first week of the month than you do on the other weeks. So break those tasks down and remember that what you're supposed to do. This goes in with your productivity. If you already have it written down and you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing on Monday, open up the checklist. That's a good place to start.
Okay.
So some of these things might be specific, like maybe you're checking in with your master clients, or maybe you're spending 30 minutes on Monday just for money-making activities in your business, whatever it might be. Then you can come in here and check these off. So my challenge to you is when you create this checklist of each of the days, put in things that are going to push your business forward, not just client work if you're doing client work in your coaching, or if you have things that you're supposed to create for your business to make that grow as well. So
what you're saying is that you should not just spend time putting in tasks that are related to the busy work, but you actually should do stuff that's related to generating new business and getting referrals and getting like
list
connecting with your
building.
clients to get,
Yes.
yep.
Testimonials, all the things. Yes.
Thank you. I would actually, after everybody does this, what I really want to do is go in and edit all their stuff and add columns for stuff like, okay, this is the time you need to do testimonials. This is the time you need to do sales. This is the time you need to do promotion. This is like, that's way, way important. So don't forget to put those tasks on there. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Let me get down off this soapbox.
Keep it coming. It's perfect. Anyway, my big thing is that if you are writing these things down, you won't forget to do those things. Things get busy. Your clients are yelling at you. I had a client who messaged me 5 minutes before I got on here, said, "Where's this thing?" I'm sorry, I'm doing something to build my business for a minute. I'll be back. But you can't forget that you need to do those little tasks as well. So put them in your checklist and make sure that there's a reminder. Okay?
And then you go back to it later. Perfect.
Absolutely. So let's see. So I have in your templates too, I have our template and we'll look at it as soon as we're done. But create your checklist through your weeks. This is going to help with your productivity a big amount. Or if maybe this is just me, but I'm going to assume not, that some people get up and they say it's a work day, but I'm just not feeling it. Like,
all right,
I'm not entrepreneuring today. Nope, I don't think so. When you get to that point,
isn't it the new thing with the kids?
Adulting. I'm not adulting.
I'm not adulting today. Yeah, that same thing. All right, I got it.
I'm going to say not entrepreneuring. I'm going to go ahead and make a meme or something.
Okay.
Anyway, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing that day and you already have something up and you don't have the brain power to think about where you're supposed to be in that particular non-motivational day, then you can go to your checklist and you can just start from there. So we're going to go ahead and take out that non-productivity part. And we're just going to start working through. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So that's the second part of my business. I'm going to move on. Now what I have 3 different contractors that work for me. I've kind of cleaned this up. This is definitely a template. We have a lot more tasks than this, but I wanted to give you some good examples and to show you that things as a business owner, I can see how my entire business is going right from this page right here without even clicking onto anything. Each time you put something into Trello, like I can see that what this task is, I can see when the next time it's due, and I can see that we have a checklist in here, and I'll show you in just a second. I can look at all of the details that are here, and I can say, okay, Verona is doing great. She's a little bit behind, it looks like, on this task. Either that gives me a clue to say, hey, how are you doing on this? Do you need any help? Or I'll understand that if it's not already been done, then my QA person, who is my Chelsea's my QA person, she's going to go in there and she's going to double check.
Awesome.
So at a big picture view, I can see real quick where everybody is, how everything's going, and what tasks might be overdue.
Perfect.
So we have tons of tasks, it seems like, for everybody. But the big thing I wanted to show you is Chelsea is my project manager. She's absolutely amazing. In her list, she also has where she creates different SOPs within how we do things.
Okay, and SOPs, just for people who don't know, is standard operating procedures, the standard way of doing something.
Yes. So our SOPs are housed mostly in Trello. And if I click on a task, so this is a Facebook page scheduling task that Verona does. What I've done is I've created a certain template at the top this template is also in your template. I'm going to give it to you. Don't worry. However,
so for those of you who've just joined, and I see that we have new people on, and thank you for interacting in the chat. People were at meetings and they're joining late. Just so you know, at the end, you're actually going to get a template for Trello that you can get started right away. So, all right, keep going. Sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the way that I do our SOPs, what we have is in the description part, we put some of the details. This is a spreadsheet in which we share with our clients. And then we have some specifics that our client asks us to do. I have gone through each task myself. That's a big part of your business, right? You have to know how to do them, and or somebody that's working closely with you. And I have given an expectation for how long this task should take each month, including my QA time. I charge my clients by that estimation. So that means my contractors have to stay within that. So I give that to my clients up front in the card, so there's no questions about that. The next thing that we've done is we've created a Trello training. So we were talking about earlier those different modes of how we see things. This is a spreadsheet with details all the way down. And then we also have a visual training. We use Loom. Use loom.com. Some people have, you use Zoom if you want to. Whatever it is, just turn on a video. My suggestion is don't make it really hard. Just turn on a video next time you do a task and talk yourself how you're doing it.
I can tell you, I actually use this. This is the only thing that Marie and I need to implement everything Marie's talking about. But this one, when I recorded a statement in our Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel about how to manage VAs, this was exactly it. Like, you manage VAs by, you take the tasks that you're doing every day, and you just record your screen and you say, okay, well, here's what I do. I'm going to go into this card and I'm going to change this, and I'm going to change the date on it. And then I'm going to do this. And you just talk through it. And then you save that video and you send it to your VA. This is exactly the same thing, only you're doing it a little bit more formal and you're hanging on to it for a little bit longer time. I was telling Marie that I just send those to my VA, and she's like, well, do you keep them all in a single place so that people can go through them, and do you name them properly? And I'm like, yeah, no. So that's going to be, that's on my to-do list now. So maybe I'll tell my VA that she needs to do it. That would be a good use of my VA.
I'm sure it would. And now if anything happens to your VA or anybody else, you have a system.
Exactly.
So my suggestion is to create some training, house it in one place, have a consistency of how you're labeling that. Now, we're talking about Trello. I don't want anybody to be stuck on this. If you are Google Docs and that's where you are, great. If you are email folders and that's where you are, awesome. Wherever you need to be, go with it. However, this is something that I find has been really awesome in the years that I've been doing business as an owner with other people underneath me, so that I keep this consistency throughout my business. So this is how we put all of our stuff at the top. We have some other checklists. The other thing that I've implemented within the last couple of years is I wanted to see when my contractors were completing tasks. So we just create a schedule, and I just say, here's the weeks. And as they do each of the weeks, they mark it off. So I can see right now that Verona for this task has already scheduled out through the 24th. I know she's ahead. That's great. She's probably thinking about Thanksgiving holiday in the States, and she's ready to move through and have that time off, because that's a big encouragement for us. We have to move through our tasks efficiently. And I can see that right here where she is without even having to bother emailing or anything. This is a quick glance for me. I've taken out some of the other conversations, but the big thing with Trello is we like to keep our conversations on task within here, but I can tag her as needed and say, hey, Verona, what's going to happen? Her name will pop up and it'll give her a notification. So we can have these conversations within our card so everybody stays on task. A couple other things I want to show you, because I know I've mentioned this and I didn't really show the specifics here, but you can create a due date for any of your tasks, and you can create a date and time in which they're to be done.
Nice.
So we move the due dates up depending on when the task has been completed. So if she's completed the task up until the 24th, then I can say, okay, she has until the 24th to do this task again. If for some reason she doesn't do the task, that's where I see this in red here. So I see that she's overdue on this task, and it shows up as this blaring, like, ew, what is that?
That works for me. That works for my personality.
Yes. And as the visual people that a lot of us are, this is a really, really great tool. So like I said, I can see real quickly, okay, she's not done all the things that she needs to do here, and I need to check in on that. I don't have to check in on the rest of the stuff. Why am I going to waste the extra time to go over there and ask when she's already given me all that? She's pushing me the information without me even trying. So we've created each of our cards with a system and a training all in one. And it works beautifully. And I want to pass it along. I want you to create a system that you can work in and that can move through your business pretty easily. Some of the other things I wanted to show you real quick. So we have this section where all of our tasks, including my own, again, if something were to happen to me and I can't do this particular task here, I need people to understand in my team how to help. So I've created a documentation for all of my own as well. The last thing I have are assets. Sometimes we get new people in consistently. Sometimes we have contractors that leave. Sometimes we have new people as we bring on more clients and we're ready to do more tasks. We bring new talent in. So I've created just a board that says how to use this board, like in general, just a video. This is how we do things here.
And this is on the template that everybody's going to get?
They're going to get the system, yes.
Okay.
So the big thing is that I'm giving you the template of what to do.
Got
you
it.
Fill it in, okay?
Got it. Okay, got it.
So how to use this board is specific to my business.
Got it. Okay.
But at the same time, I'm going to suggest that you put something together because as people come in and out, you don't have to sit down and be like, okay, let's do this training, blah, blah, blah. Send it to them, okay?
Perfect.
I have tasks that happen when I'm on vacation. Kimberly knows I just got back from a month in Italy, and it was fantastic. But I had to let my contractors know how they could help me while I was on vacation, which works a little bit differently. And then we have some different things that just work in our business. We use Tailwind to schedule a lot of things on Pinterest and Instagram. Anyway, just keep an assets card because this is for your team to stay on track and to stay within your brand. So I like to use an assets card. So, I feel like I talked a whole bunch.
That was awesome.
However, I wanna give you a little sneak peek real quick. This is the template that I'm going to send to you. I have the link. I don't know if you have the link yet, but I'll put it in the replay notes so you don't have to worry about it. But this is for you. This is public use on Trello. This is going to break down all of the different tasks in which you can create. And then I want to show you this real quick. So like I said, I just created this whole template and you fill it in. But when you want to, maybe you have multiple tasks, you can just copy this card into a second position. So I'm going to go quick, but I want you to know you can just copy the card and it'll create a duplicate, and there it is. So
awesome.
Super easy. You know, if you have a contractor, and I say contractors mostly because I don't have employees. Some people might have employees.
It can be your joint venture partners. Like, let's say that there are a lot of people who know about joint venture partners. Let's say you are building something and you're like, hey, I'm going to create a webinar like this with Marie next week. What are the things that need to happen for that, right? And we need to have emails that go out. We need to have, all the different things that need to happen. We need to have Zoom available. We need to have all those different things, and you can just track all of those and what's been done and what still needs to be done with Trello.
Yeah, absolutely. I have boards. I'm gonna hopefully I don't freak anybody
out. Is it okay
else.
if I send the template thing out, or do we still have more before you want to do that?
I have a little bit more, and I can send it in the replay, but I want to be sure that we get to the exciting news real quick.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I get a little giddy, right? So I want to, if you can see, these are all the boards in which I work on Trello. So this can get a little crazy, but what it's done is it's created systems within different clients that I have. If we are going to create from zero to published as an example, is a course that somebody's creating. These are support things for some of my different clients where we work on specific projects just for them. I mean, Facebook Lives and webinar follow-up. I mean, we've created different boards for all of the different systems within your board or within your business. So just remember that you can, once you do this system, you can expand on it deeper levels so that everything is broken down. People don't have to ask in your team how you create a new course or what the branding needs to look like. Like you have anyway, I could go on forever. But this particular template, how I have set everything up, the way that it's laid out is going to go straight to you. So that's exciting.
Okay.
Awesome. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is a really exciting opportunity. I've talked with Kimberly. She thought it would be great for us to share this. And I'm going to go over real quick to my slides and go down one more. I saw this need and I felt like, I know, right? I saw this need. People do a really awesome job putting things together, but there are a lot of questions that happen. And there's a lot of different details that don't always come out in these free webinar trainings, mostly because we just don't have the time. I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute, but at the end of the day, it's just something that we don't have a whole lot of time to do. So I went ahead and I partnered with Kimberly, and I'd love for you to go to, we can put this link in the chat there, Kimberly.
I will.
firstcuptoclose.com/Trello it's a dash, right? Dash rocket. The link is right there, and I'll open this up so we can look at it.
Can you, just show us what we're going to see.
Yeah.
You guys can go there right now. She's got a course. It's worth way more than she's priced. She and I are having conversations later about how to reprice because she's super underestimating like what this is worth to be
Absolutely.
used in ways. Like she's changing the world as we know it by creating this training. And so maybe it should be priced a little higher than that, but you guys are getting a deal. So,
yes.
So this is what you're going to get for it. And just take us through what we're going to see.
Absolutely. So as soon as you click that link, you're going to open up to the page. And what we're going to do is we're going to take and create your own system. This is a custom course. I am only taking on 5 new clients into this course, mostly because it's me and it's you and it's building everything out from scratch. And you're going to create an entire system. Yes.
That's awesome.
And this is, I have this because this is an intensive, as in my goal is before 2020, you're walking into 2020 with a complete system already built, and you can focus on scaling your business and moving through all that stuff.
So this is not a course. This is not recorded. This is live. You're interactive with the students. You're actually building their business plan out with them for 2020.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So again, our enrollment's really limited, but I'm just scrolling through here. Justin is one of my most amazing clients, and he's put a testimonial on there. Check that out while you're there. But what I want to give you are some of the exciting things we're going to do. So this is 5 weeks. It's an intensive for a reason. So I want people that are ready to put this in place, that are ready to scale their business, that are ready to have less stress and less anxiety about what they're doing next.
Okay, wait.
Yes.
But if you're ready, like, do we have to be like totally organized to be with you, or are you going to help us get totally organized? Okay. So all we have to really do is have the mindset that we want to make this really work for 2020. Even if you're a complete disaster like I am and totally disorganized, what you're asking is that just you're ready to have the mindset to take it on, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We are building this from scratch. If we had nothing else but your Trello name, we're going to take every step from there. Perfect. And we're going to move through this system that I've created, and I'm going to walk you through step by step by step. So what I've done is we have 5 weeks. We're starting next Monday, which is exciting. So November 18th.
Giddy up. We're on it. Because you got to get it done. We only have so many weeks before 2020. You got to get it knocked out, right? Okay.
I know. Absolutely. So we're going to do 5 calls, 5 Q&A and coaching calls. I'm going to give you the resources that you need to be able to move through this, but I'm also very, very, very available. Here's the thing. I'm not going to leave you hanging because that happens so often. You get a course and then you're just trying to work through. I'm there. I'm going to be walking it through with you, and we're going to build your Trello board as we go.
That's awesome.
Yep. So all of the trainings are going to be accessible to you for the time that you're in the course, you will have Trello boards, you're going to have templates, you're going to have all the organizational tools you need, and me as your guide to be able to tell you where to go next, especially those wonderful and beautiful high I people. I'm your high S that's just going to say, hey, next step is this, next step is this. And at the end of the day, we're going to have create a beautiful system, and you can move into 2020 and the years and years and years beyond. So you'll see all this on the page. I am kind of scrolling through as we go, but at the end of the day, I want you to know that we are only going to have this until the 15th. So
the 48 hours, you're going to do that. And I know there's some people that have already emailed me that they had a conflict and they want to be able to see the replay. So we're going to get the replay out as quickly as possible, but you guys need to move on this because her thing starts on Monday. So it's not like she's just creating false excitement about it. Like you have to engage now because it starts on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. So the replay of our training here will go out, but at the same time, I am starting. I mean, you know me, I'm going to get going. So I'm going to go with it. So right now I work with Kimberly and our price is $697. This is down, like Kimberly said. I know. And this is going to build what I've done for the years and years and years past. We're going to sit down and within 5 weeks, just move you through. One of my statements, so anyway, you could click on the link here to register, add your name in there. I will email you right after that, and we'll talk a little bit more about the details that are there. But I wanted to be sure to give you some more information. I don't like that red color on my face. Moving on. So I only have 5 more spots available, mostly because, like I said, I'm just going to sit down and we're going to build this out for you. Perfect. So action takers, come on, let's go. We're starting on Monday. So.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to put, and we're just at 11:03, so I'm going to put in the chat your amazing Trello template. So click on that, download it, make good use of it. It's going to be amazing. You definitely should grab that now, and let me know if you're going to grab it. Just say, yes, I got it, or it worked, just so that I know that the links are working properly. That would be amazing. I did check the one to your system and I got it up. I don't know how many people are registering, but I'm registering for it. It'll be a lot of fun to participate with you. It'll be super fun. And I'm going to get organized for 2020. So when people do register, what are they going to see next? And thank you for the people who are already registering. I'm seeing some clicks on the board. That's fantastic. So grab it now. What are they going to see when they register? Are they going to get an email from you? Or are they going to get pre-work? What are they going to get?
Yes, absolutely. So I send you an email right away. We have to be sure that you have all the materials and resources downloaded, as in I'll need your Trello account, all the things that have to happen. So you're going to get some admin work between now and the end of the week. And then on Sunday, we'll open up and release the first video and the first week of work. I do want to say that this is something where it's going to be really organized, and some people need that extra hand holding. So if you're that kind of person that might need that little extra hand holding, this is definitely the course for you, and I am there to move you through it. So
awesome. So it's not just like, here's the video, go do it, you're done. It's like, I don't know how to do this for me. And I need some, like, I have a special situation. Well, I got to tell you, all of my situations are special, Marie. Like, I don't fit into any box. And if there was a box, I'd be like ripping the corners open so that I can make room for my special situations. So
absolutely.
It's that's a big people like me.
It was a big reason that I decided to only take 5 people, mostly because I'm going to be in your business with you really, really deep in, because I want to see every little bit, and I want to make sure that the systems we're creating. Now, after 5 weeks, we're going to go into holiday. I mean, everybody knows what happens in December and January. It's kind of a fog of hot chocolate. But but at the end of our course, we're going to stay together in a support system for the first Q1. So that's the first 3 months. I'm going to help you. In our talk today, I talked about changing things that don't work. When you use your system, you might find things that you need to change. And I want to be sure that you have the support to know how to change them and to use that as you move along, so that your business is set up pretty much for the rest of however long you decide to do business. If you're into 70s and 80s and 90s and 100 years old, this system is going to stay with you. Awesome. So that's my goal, is at the end of the day, you will have to do nothing else other than create the system and move through your business. So
okay, so a couple of questions that are popping up in the chat. Thank you. First of all, thank you. Thank you
yes.
on so many levels, because thank you for creating this for our group. Thank you for offering the free Trello board, which is a great template so people can get started and play around in it a little bit and get their feet wet. And thank you for making this course available at a severe discount for our peeps, because they want to get started, they want to engage, and a lot of them are brand new entrepreneurs and don't have a lot, but $697 is totally worth it to get yourself productive and amazingly set up for the first of the year. Plus, $697 will probably pay for your 1 day of extra time that Marie just gave you. Like, that's
there
huge.
you go.
Like, and for every week for the rest of the year in 2020, like, I would pay $697 just to get 1 extra day every week for the rest of the year, right? Wouldn't you? That'd be fabulous.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so thanks for doing that.
Yes.
We do have a couple of questions in the chat. Somebody
Sure,
said,
sure.
do we have to do anything in Trello with the board to grab it?
So this is a template. I'm pretty sure this is what we're talking about here.
Yep.
So your Trello template, this is a public board. So when you see that, you should be able to copy that over. If you go into show menu, I'm going to move back a little bit. You can move through some of the options. I don't know how your options look there, but typically you'll start here with this menu, and then you go to more, and you can click on copy board.
Aha.
So when you copy the board over, you'll be able to pick your different teams. Again, I have a bazillion. However, you can make a copy of this Trello template onto your own board, and then you can edit it as needed.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure that Trello is not going to allow you to edit my template here. But just be sure to make that copy. And thanks for asking. You know, I forget those little details when I'm speaking through these things. So I'll add that in. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And then we had another question. Some people are using Evernote. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between Evernote and Trello, and like how they could work together or how they work separately or how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is kind of, togetherness is one of our, the how you use things together is one of the things that we're going to talk about in the course, because I want to be sure that you have different avenues to use your time most wisely. So what Trello has is they have something that's called power-ups. I'm just going to open this up in here. So your Evernote can connect directly to your Trello board, which is just absolutely amazing. I know
you're going to go into this in depth if they take the course, right?
Yeah.
This is something, this power up thing, it connects with the connectivity with all kinds of other stuff. It's
all this
huge.
stuff.
It's huge. And she's going to go into more depth in it in the training. So if you're interested in having it connect with your Evernote, this is a great training for you. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're going to take a whole week and we're just talking about up-leveling the whole thing that we've just created and systems. So you can use the power-ups here. However, if you're using Evernote as a system, it's just set up differently. So you might hear Evernote, Basecamp, Asana. All of these systems are very similar, and you have to find something that works best for you. So Evernote to me is more of a document. It's kind of like a Google document where you just sort of have all your details in one thing, and you use them like different notebooks or different pages within your notebook. So that's what Evernote is. I don't mind it. It's not my preferred system, mostly because I'm a visual person and I like to see how things are going. I love to see the colors of this and to have this big picture view. To me, Evernote is more pages in a notebook. So Asana is another system which is set up very similarly to Trello. I have nothing wrong with Asana. It's just something that I'd rather use Trello. So that's just a personal preference. The other thing I think I can show, I'm not quite sure if I had this on here or not, but I don't have the right power up on here, but you can use some of the different power-ups that you have. One of them, I was going to say this for Kimberly, is that you can look at all of these tasks in a calendar view if you want to.
Love calendar.
So, yeah, so calendar views are exciting to me. I like to see all the tasks. I don't necessarily in my business have to know what day that they are due, but I know that that's a big deal for other people. So that's a power-up system that we're going to go into on week 5 of our 5-week training.
Love it.
Systemize Your Business, yes, in 2020. So for 2020. So if there are no other questions, I think that's about it. I know we're running a little over, maybe. I
That's
don't
it.
want to
No,
get too.
it's perfect. There is no
Okay, good.
over in my world. This is what it is, right? But Maria,
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing with us. There's some amazing stuff in there. I'm going to put the template back in the chat box, and also I'm going to put in the chat box a note on where you can go grab um, the course at the discounted price. It is normally $9.97. I know you're going to have another one after the first of the year. It's going to be $9.97. You might as well grab it at $6.97 now. Save yourself $300 that you can spend on Christmas gifts, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, just put it in your bank account. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you'll be all set and ready to kick off 2020 so that you're totally organized and ready to go. A really, really, really good deal for our folks. So thank you so much for doing
You're
that.
welcome.
And I know it's
Thank
in
you.
high demand. So yeah, awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you carving time out of your day to do this with us again and get more specific. I really appreciate it. Any last words for our group?
No, just take your systems and remember to make them your own. Make something that works best for you. If you create a system and you don't work in it, then create, work on something that you're going to use, because at the end of the day, this is just talking about scaling your business, productivity. Those are the reasons that we take all of the details that we've done today and we put it into place, so that you can be most effective in your business and make the biggest impact out there in the world, because that's why we're here. Right.
That's it. We only have so many go rounds. We got to make it count. All right. So Marie, thanks so much. Marie Mack from First Cup to Close, teaching us about Trello training, giving us special deals, and not only that, a free template that you can use to get started and running and up and running right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate the interactivity and the joy that you created for all of us while you were participating. Marie, thanks so much for being here with your attitude, your smile, and your solutions. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Kimberly.
All right, bye. Guys, take care. Cheers.